it do not contain water as a solvent. Don't contain H2O as a solvent. It do not contain water as a solvent. Now, as we saw, there are three theories in acid-base titration, that are Arrhenius theory, Bronsted-Lowry theory, and Lewis theory, that are Arrhenius theory, Bronsted-Lowry theory, and Lewis theory. These are the three theories which are discussed in acid-base titration. Now, as we know that this Arrhenius theory, it is applicable for only acids and bases in aqueous medium. Only in it is applicable only in aqueous medium. It is applicable only in aqueous medium, whereas this Bronsted-Lowry theory and Lewis theory, it is applicable in any of the medium. It is applicable for any of the medium. Now, so in this Arrhenius theory, it is applicable in only aqueous medium, but our topic is about non-aqueous medium. So non means there is no water involved in these titrations, but here this Arrhenius theory is only applicable in aqueous medium. So in non-aqueous titration, this Arrhenius theory is not applicable. It is not applicable in non-aqueous titrations, but this Bronsted-Lowry theory and Lewis theory is applicable. These two theories are applicable and which can be discussed under this non-aqueous titrations. Now, coming to the Bronsted-Lowry theory, according to Bronsted, let us write it in. According to Bronsted-Lowry theory, acid is a substance which can donate protons. These are H plus ion donors. According to the Bronsted-Lowry acid theory, acid can be defined as acid is a substance which can donate H plus ions in any of the medium. Now, what is base? According to the Bronsted-Lowry theory, base is a substance which has capacity to accept protons or donate hydroxyl ions. Which can donate ions. It will donate hydrogen ions. Now, in this Bronsted-Lowry theory, we should discuss about conjugate acid theory. What is conjugate acid base? Conjugate acid base is a pair in which any of the two ions, in which one ion will undergo oxidation and while other ion will go reduction. Oxidation and reduction, both the process takes place simultaneously, is known as conjugate acid base pair. Let us consider one example. Fe plus 2 plus CeF4 will give rise to Fe plus 3 plus Ce plus 3. Now, this Fe plus 2 is converted to Fe plus 3. It undergoes oxidation. It will undergo the oxidation process. Now, this cerium plus 4 will undergo to cerium plus 3. As a result, it undergoes reduction. This is the reaction in which one ion will undergo oxidation and one ion will undergo reduction. So this is example of conjugate acid base theory. This is about Bronsted-Lowry theory. Lewis theory. According to Lewis theory, according to the Lewis theory, acid can be defined as acid is a substance which can accept lone pair of electrons. Which can accept the electron pair. Now, according to Lewis theory, base. What is base? Base is a substance which donates the protons, which will donate the electron pairs. Donates the electron pair. This is about Lewis theory, and according to Lewis theory, acid can be defined as it accepts electron pair, and base is a substance which will donate electron pair. Now let us consider an example, that is NH3 plus HCl will get converted to NH4 plus Cl minus. Now this ammonium ion will take one hydrogen ion from this HCl and resulting in the formation of NH4 plus. Now from this HCl, this hydrogen got removed, so as a result Cl minus is present, so it is base and it is acid. This is about Lewis theory. And why we use non-aqueous titrations means when any titration which takes place in absence of water as a solvent. Now this non-aqueous solution, non-aqueous titrations are used in case of where the water is not used as a solvent. In this case, these non-aqueous titrations are used. These are the theories which explains about non-aqueous titrations. Now next topic is solvents which are used in non-aqueous titrations. Next topic is solvents. Solvents which are used in non-aqueous titrations. Before the solvents which are to be chosen, there are three criteria which are responsible for selection of these solvents. The first criteria is solubility of analyte. Solubility of analyte is the first criteria, and second one is nature of analyte. This is the second criteria, and third one is reactivity. Reactivity of analyte. These are the three main criteria which are responsible for selection of the solvents, that are solubility of analyte, nature of analyte, and reactivity of analytes. These are the three main criteria which are chosen for selection of the solvents. Now let us discuss the types of solvents which are used in non-aqueous titrations. There are four types of solvents which are used. Types of solvents. types of solvents are, there are four types. Four types of solvents are used, and first type is protogenic. First type is protogenic. Protogenic solvents are the solvents which are in acidic in nature, and these are helpful for analyzing the basic drugs. These are acidic and used to analyze the basic drugs. Which are used to analyze the basic drugs. Example: glacial acetic acid. Glacial acetic acid, and this is about first type. And second type is, this is protogenic, and second one is protophilic. Protogenic and second one is protophilic. These are basic drugs. These drugs are basic in nature, and these are used to analyze the acidic drugs. These are used to analyze the acidic drugs. Example: DMF, ethyl diamine, DMF, dimethyl formamide. First one is protogenic, second one is protophilic, and third one is amphiprotic. Third type is amphiprotic. Whereas protogenic is acidic in nature, whereas protophilic is basic in nature. Now this amphiprotic is both acidic and basic in nature. Acidic and basic in nature. Now these amphiprotic drugs, these amphiprotic solvents are used to analyze both acidic and basic drugs. Analyze both acidic and basic drugs. Example: alcohols. Examples are alcohols, and these are about, it is third type, and fourth type is aprotic. Fourth type is aprotic. It is neither acidic nor basic. And it is used to analyze water insoluble drugs. Water insoluble drugs. It is used to analyze water insoluble drugs. These are the four types: protogenic, protophilic, amphiprotic, aprotic. These are the four different kinds of solvents. Now let us write the list of solvents that are list of solvents that are glacial acetic acid. Second one is DMF, and third one is ethyl diamine, and fourth one is acetonitrile, and fifth one is alcohol. These are the main solvents which are used. These are the solvents. These are the solvents which are used in non-aqueous titrations, that is acidic glacial acetic acid, dimethyl formamide, ethyl diamine, acetonitrile, and alcohol. It is about the solvents used in non-aqueous titrations. And next, let us discuss about the effect of solvents. Let us discuss effect of solvents. Effect of solvents under non-aqueous titrations. This effect of solvents is studied under two categories. First one is leveling effect. And second one is differentiating effect. One is leveling effect and second one is differentiating effect. First, let us discuss about leveling effect. What is leveling effect? Leveling effect can be defined as effect of a solvent on acidic and basic properties of analyte. Of solvent on acidic and basic properties of analyte. Effect of solvent on acidic and basic properties of an analyte. Let us consider examples by using strong acids. Now HCl will get converted into H plus and Cl minus in presence of water, and H2SO4 in presence of water will get converted into 2 moles of H plus and SO4 minus, and HNO3 in presence of water will get converted into H plus and NO3 minus. These are examples by using strong acid. By using strong acid. Now by using weak acid, example like oxalic acid. When it is reacted with water, it forms COO minus plus 2 moles of H plus, and some amount of this oxalic acid will remain undissolved. That is, some amount of undissolved. Some amount of oxalic acid will remain as undissolved. So whenever it is undissolved in nature, when it is reacted with ammonia, this undissolved substance will get converted into dissolved substance. This is about leveling effect. Now coming to the differentiating effect. Differentiating effect is defined as it is used as acid and base will get dissociate at different degrees. Acid and base will get dissociated at different degree is called differentiating effect. And same, let us consider the same examples that are HCl in presence of water will get converted into H plus and Cl minus. HNO3 will get converted into H plus and NO3 minus, and H2SO4 will get converted into 2 moles of H plus plus SO4 2 minus. These are by using strong acids. Now by using weak acids, COOH plus H2O will get converted into COO plus 2H plus. Some amount will be unreacted. So this is unreacted or undissolved. Now when undissolved substance is present in differentiating effect, again it is reacted with glacial acetic acid. When it is reacted with glacial acetic acid, the acidic nature will get increased. Will be increased. Acidic nature will get increased. This is about effect of solvents. One is leveling effect and other one is differentiating effect.